Oi, oi! This is genuinely like take number 6. I keep struggling to get through to the end of this one. Feeling a little bit worse for wear after the 4 days at Cheltenham. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm finding it so hard to get through the end of this video, right? So look, we'll keep it going as much as we can. And then hopefully I don't waffle too much. I know I do like to waffle, but we are where we are. So I'm reviewing the Cheltenham Festival from the bets from this week. This is Saturday, about 3:45 now that I'm doing this. And I'm also going to do what I did last year, just going to screen share my betting accounts from the 1st of October up to now, so you can see the figures in there. The reason why I'm doing that is I've said to you guys, I give you an update, and I know I don't need to necessarily justify anything to people in comments or any of that sort of stuff, but I understand how people may question things when, you know, anyone can say whatever they want. So if I could share an Excel spreadsheet that tells you the figures, but I could be typing anything in there. So you'll know I've got a bet loader that I use for like the Cheltenham specifically. I've got profit and loss spreadsheets, things like that. But if I share my actual betting accounts, then there's nowhere to hide, is there? Now, with that said, I do go to Hills to put some bets on. So I went and collected some non-runner money. I've got £115 back from my total stakes. I've got my tin here with the slips in there, the losing ones. So I can tell you the figures for Hills. Have included them in the Excel spreadsheet that I will show, which again, me typing in numbers, but it's a sum of the videos that I'll show you. Including it in the figures this year. I didn't include it last year. Last year we made a small bit of money on it, but I could be putting more bets on that you guys don't know about and just pretending. But then I'm hoping, well, not hoping, I'm not lying. So that's why I'm sharing the accounts. Anywho, I will pull them up and we can talk about how the week, how the season's going. But to cover off the week as well, same as when I did the video last year, it's easier just to show you the accounty bit. One of the accounts that I use, Coral, so I've got access to Bet365, Coral, and Bet Victor now. Last year I was still able to use Betfair and Sky Bet, but through the summer something happened to those accounts through like account linking and stuff like that. So I don't really do much. I don't do any trading anymore at the moment. There are other exchanges that I could get myself into, BetDAC and Matchbook, but for the time being, I don't do any of the trading, the exchangey type stuff. I've just been betting with the firms. Now I've staked more money by the end of the week than I would have done in my earlier video. So I think on the Tuesday video that I did, I said I'd got £6,000 worth of stakes. By the time it's ended up with what I've got tracked in my spreadsheet is about £7,500 worth of stakes. There would be some more I need to add from yesterday while I was out watching the racing and covering some positions. But it was all done with the betting accounts. I'll screen share and show you. But I have come out this week somehow through the miracle of the Lord. I've actually come out showing a profit for the Cheltenham Festival. And I think this is, I don't know why this like keeps getting me again even at this point, but like I was in a proper hole going into Friday, and it's been a bloodbath of a week for everybody, hasn't it? I was in a proper hole going into, like, I say a proper hole, right? We were behind, it is what it is. I had opportunities, but I had I think I had somewhere around £1,500 worth of stakes live going through to the Friday. It ended up being more than that on my spreadsheet. There's 2,000 that are sat in now, but I had like 1,500 quid worth of bets, but I was about £3,000 behind, I think, in terms of betting. So while the value of getting the bets earlier, it would have cost me more than the 1,500 to get there. Like I wasn't ahead for the week or anything like I normally am going into a Friday. I wasn't in a comfortable position essentially. And I had like good opportunities in the video that I shared. A couple of people have already commented saying like, it looked like I might have been able to claw it back, but the stakes did change going through because Thursday we had some results and then Friday I topped up on quite a few horses. But I was a few £1,000s behind, and I didn't believe that I would be able to turn it around. And that's not to sound morbid or anything like that, but it's been a bloodbath, hasn't it? And the reality of the week has been that you just didn't even expect the good things to go in, did you? Now, look, I had Lilamba and East India Dock in the end covered in the Triumph, and they've come second and third in the first race. So you just think this is unrelenting. It's never going to stop. I shared with you in that video as well on the Friday I didn't have anything in a Gold Cup. I did tip and bet. I know the way you're thinking as well on the Which Bookie column. So he did end up going in here as a bit of money. But look, we ended up cleaning up on Friday in terms of the amount of winners that we had. But it was a literal last race saver that turned me into profit for the week. So I think I'm and I say think because, like I say, the accounts the Coral one doesn't show you the actual settle bets in the last week properly. Bet365 is brilliant for it. If everyone was like that, it'd be so much easier to do this. But my track stuff in here, I'd need to add some more bits in there. But I think I'm somewhere like £400, but it is more than that. Somewhere between £400 and £800 up, I think, for the week. I do need to work it out properly. But look, I clawed it back, and I'm going to share the account stuff from the 1st of October because it's just easier to encompass everything into one fell swoop, right? You'll see when I do the stuff, because the Bet365 one I can show you for the last week, the Bet Victor account I can show you the last 7 days as well. The Coral one, when I show you for March, is different to what the reality is, because the Coral one will still say that I'm making money for this month, but that's bets struck in March, not from before. And then you'll see when I go through it that February's a losing month. When you try and balance those two, it's not just those 2 months that I've been striking bets in, if you know what I mean, for Cheltenham. But anyhow, if you're questioning why I don't know the exact number, it's because I'd need to update the bit more on the spreadsheet. But that's why if I share those things on there, you know where I am through the season, right? So I'm going to pull that up. I'll share them with you now so you guys can see all of it. But I'll just read off the top line figures quickly. I've got this on my Excel spreadsheet and I'll share that with you now. So look, last year's video, I'll screenshot that so you can see the figures from last year. But I was like about 15%, no, 12.5% return on investment, I think it was, something like that. And I made about £5 from the 1st of October to the end of Cheltenham. And that was with a good Cheltenham as well. This year, I'm about £1,445 up. And that's including the Hills losses for the slips that I've had on there as well. You see with my accounts, my Bet365, which we'll pull up in a second, and we'll work our way through it. That's up a few quid. And then the Bet Victor stuff as well. That's not technically just from the 1st of October, but on the mobile one I'm doing, I can't figure the way to pay it up in terms of the profit. But with that one, I can show you the last 7 days, and I wasn't betting that much before on the Bet Victor stuff. That was one I had to get, say, resurrected, but it was an account that was basically starting in and around the summertime, so I wouldn't have had many bets before October, if any at all anyway. So the figures aren't what they are there, but I'll pull that one up now. So we'll start off with Bet365 is the best one in it because it always looks quite good. So we'll start off with the Bet365 one. So that if I screen share now, when I go to the settled bets from Tuesday to Friday, they do it beautifully here. You see there the amount of stakes, like £5.5 worth in there. And then you can see there's 527 quid up. So that's not me saying that's why I'm like £500 up, but as part of it, there was a bit of profit that came through there. But we'll go back to the 1st of October. And if you look at there from the 1st of October, you can see the stakes, you can see the returns, and you can see that I've made 1,290 quid since the 1st of October on Bet365. Now, my total stakes in that screenshot that I showed before, I think last year were about 40,000. This year, they're up to 48, I think. Yeah, 48,675 in total. So they are up compared to the two, but obviously with the fact that it's not the same betting account, you can see the turnover is about the same. That's Bet365. Bet Victor, I'll pull this one up now. Like I say, it shows the last 7 days there for a profit. And then if I go back to the last year, because again, I haven't been using it for much more than that, you can see the stakes and returns in there. So there's a bit of money that's been made on that account. And then the Coral one, which is the bit of a nightmare one, I'll have to go dirty on this one and just show you every month. So we go through them peeling up on the, like I'm going through the screen now, just skipping each month. You see there's varying profits and losses for each of those that are in there, but I've tallied it all up. So, I mean, you can go through and look at this and add it up yourself if you want, but there's £8,500 staked, which is £8,549.39. And there was £8,136.10 back. So I lost I have lost £413.29 on my Coral account since the 1st of October. Like I said, there was a £340 loss with Hills this year on the bets. We've got £909.18 in Bet Victor profit. Again, it's not definitely from the 1st of October, but they were in and around when I was doing the betting anyway. And like you can see from the 7-day bet, most of it's come from the Cheltenham time anyway. And then Bet365 is up that £1,290. So that's the £1,445 that I'm up, 3% return on investment. And the return on investment is an interesting one because, like, it isn't actually the 48,000 physical pounds that have gone in. It's not like that, is it? It's turnover. And especially with Bet365, an account that I've still luckily got the access to cash out of, you can potentially deposit £10 in there. You could keep striking bets and cash out the tenner, cash out the tenner, cash out the tenner, cash out the tenner. That would count as £100, £200, £300, £400 worth of stakes. So it might be that you deposited a tenner and you might actually withdraw another tenner, and then that would show you that you've made 100% return on your investment. But in between, it's returning. So I talked about in the video last year, you could do it on return on capital compared to that, but I'll just do it off of this because it is what it is. So that 3% it is higher than the actual reality because not every one of those stakes is a bet that made it all the way through. Some of those would have been chopped and changed and things like that as well. But this is the basement, this is the worst figure that I could spit it out as because I just want to be as honest as I possibly can with this. But look, as I've said in all the videos, I really appreciate your guys' support of it. It's been a brutal week, and I like to bring you guys along on the journey because I've got a big passion for this sport, haven't I? I've got lots of years' experience doing this. even at the start of the videos when I'm doing it, I've been saying that I make profit at the Cheltenham Festival for over 15 years, like close to 20 years. And I was saying that to my dad when we were out on Friday, that like it was almost a relief when we were so far behind that the monkey might come off the back, that look, not like no one's invincible, and the Cheltenham Festival isn't like something you can take for granted and all those bits and pieces. But obviously I wanted to get as much money back as possible. I would hopefully want to make some money, but that's why when you're listening to the videos, sometimes I think most of you get it, but some of you will watch the videos and think, well, why have you got 4 or 5 horses in the race? And the point of doing that is because I want the cover in the races. Like the theory would be, if there are upsets, I've got the right cover in there. And I'll touch on that Triumph race again. Like I could have ended up betting Poneros, but you could end up backing everything, couldn't you? But I have the first and second favourite in there. They've come second and third. That's the type of luck that's been this year, isn't it? The sort of rogue results, I guess. And then it's even like with Ballyburn in there. I bet multiple horses in those races because I want the cover. And then you get a 20-1 shot that goes and wins. I had second and third Stellar Story, Better Days Ahead in there, and I had them two for cover. And then I had opinions as well on some races where like I was anti the New Lion, wasn't I? Stuck to my guns on that one, probably stubbornly, and ended up with the second and third in that race. So I don't bet everything, but I like to get a bit of cover to hopefully prove that across the week, you know, if you do the right sort of approach and you get the right ones on the list, then you've got a chance of making your money. And like I said, I was in the hole on Friday. I was quite a bit behind, and then managed to get some like good results that came out of it. And like even when I've done the previews and stuff, like Copic to me was one that I fancied, but we all did because of his stone in. But the Woodhoo one, I wasn't really sold on her, to be honest with you. When I've done the previews for it, I was saying that I couldn't have her in there. But with this betting stuff, especially on here, you know the types of horses that you want to get your cover on and things like that as well. So that was one that I'm just grateful that we had some block bets and things that came up. Like I had Jasmine Devine Wingman in a double with Woodhoo and Copic to me as a block bet that came up on the Friday. But although I managed to turn that profit, I've done so many of these recordings, I don't even know if I've already said this part of it, but I was like $3 in the hole in Friday. Like I was behind of the stakes and things like that. I didn't think there was any way of getting back out of it, as much as I had the opportunities. After that Triumph kicked off and you get that 100-1 result, you lose faith a bit, don't you? But it was literally last gasp attempt to get out, because it was Woodhoo was going for 1,800 in the end. Copic to me was going for 1,100, and that wasn't me chasing. That wasn't me having chunks of money on those horses. It was just the way that those doubles and multiples and stuff came out. But I had those two horses that would have put me into profit for the week. I had lots of other horses that were covering the Martin Pipe, but nothing else would have actually spun it all the way back round. So I was grateful to get there. And given all the bad results, say bad results, like they are what they are, but given the number of bad beats is probably the better way to put it, and the amount of seconds I had through the week, it was nice to end the festival on like that race putting out of it. I genuinely didn't believe it before getting there, and I'd made my peace of it. It was fine. Like I want to be profitable and I want to be okay with everything. But even when I talk about my profit and loss things there, being like 1,400 quid up this year, the 1,800 quid that we got back off of Woodhoo, like literally, that's the horse that's basically made the festival profitable, but it's also made the season profitable as well. So really is the fine margins of it, and it very much was like last ditch attempt in there. But I want to be transparent of all this stuff. So with the tipping that I'm doing with which bookie, like I really want to make that profitable. I believe that I have got the ability to do that. I do track everything on there. I'll share that on my Twitter page so you can see that whether it's winning or losing or not. But I want to share this stuff in here as well, because I mean, whatever the result had been, this video was coming out. If I'd have lost a load of money, I'd have done it. There's no hiding place when I'm sharing my screen for what the betting accounts are. And it wouldn't have mattered in any way, shape or form. Like it's not affecting anybody else's life if I lost money betting this year. And I'm not trying to do this to be like, wow, look at me, I make money every single year, I'm profitable, that type of stuff. But it's been a bloodbath, right? It's been something that's been like unrecognizable from any other Cheltenham festival we've had. But it's just, even from just a full betting perspective, it's been mental few days. But that's the reality of what this game is. Like there is no guarantees in there. So like I say, win, lose or draw, this video would have been coming out, I've been sharing the same. I'm obviously very pleased that I've made a bit of money out of it. That's why it's been difficult and I've recorded this so many times, because I almost feel uncomfortable, even though I've got no reason to, because I know a lot of you guys out there would have taken a battering this week, and it makes me feel, I don't know why I feel such like a responsibility for it, but like we are all like in this game together. I want all of us to make money from punting. And I know the way that I talk about stuff, you can't exactly follow it to a T. And I know when I'm doing my tipping stuff that you'd think, well, that's the method to do it, isn't it? Tell everyone all these bets. But when I'm, I don't know, like doing like work like 11 o'clock at night, 2 in the morning, and I'm looking for a bet, or I'm trying to do this and that sort of stuff. There's no one time of the day where I sit, stop, and spend, say, an hour just doing everything that I could timestamp and I could advise to everybody. You guys know that. But the reason why I share this stuff is, again, some people have the same experience as me. Some people don't. And I have got years of experience, which is what I think put me in a position where I got it. Yes, it was a fluke scramble on the Friday to get it, but we had enough bad beats for the start of it. It does show you a little bit how variants can play out, but it's only 28 races. There's no reason for it to come back. I share the sequence calculator thing on my Twitter as well, and I do my profit and loss, because my tipping's running at about a 15% strike rate, but you've seen the number of horses I've bet through for Cheltenham and the number of winners that I've had come back. Like, you are going to get far more losers than you are going to get winners, like a hell of a lot more of them. And in terms of a sequence, you could easily run up a lose and run sequence of it's possible to like run into the hundreds, probably, depending on what your strike rate is and depending on who you're doing it. But like, it's easily, you're going to, like the tens, like 30, 40 you could run into, or so let's say 20, 30 for just for an easy stake off of like a 15% strike rate. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think it's like 30 something. But I just mean it's plausible that you could go for the whole festival week and not get a single winner. It's unlikely, because you'd think you know what you're doing at those types of ones. But yeah, it's a brutal one. And like I say, we're all in this like together. I know we don't do everything exactly the same, and I like to share my opinion. Obviously, I like the interaction that you guys have got as well. I watch a lot of other people's shows. I read a lot of other people's articles, and I respect so many people that do like content. But I respect everyone at home that's just having a punt, aren't they? Because we do it for enjoyment. It's a hobbyist type activity. Like I've openly said, I would never make enough money betting to be able to do that full time. And I know from the outside in, because I'd have had the same perception years ago, if you were that good at betting, why don't you just do it and make full-time money out of it? It's the scale of it's just not doable for most people. Got responsibilities, like I've got a son, I've got a mortgage to pay for. I'm the only like person that's like in this house other than my son as well. So like like the buck stops with me. And when it comes to like a betting type of thing, it is a choice, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's a choice to do this. And ultimately, it does need to spin back down to that as well, doesn't it? That, like, you guys watch this and you make your own minds up. But like I say, the bloodbath that it's been this week, I know that there will be plenty of people that have had bad weeks. And like, it is okay. Like, if this had been a losing week, as much as it sucks, and especially being in a position where I am doing my punditry, that's probably the best way I like to put it. That like I'm again, especially when I'm sharing my views and all that sort of stuff. You people can potentially just follow blind, and I do the tipping stuff, which is why that's trapped, because there might be people that do actually just back that religiously blind. But it's sharing an opinion, isn't it? And then what you do in the end is ultimately up to you. So the same as what I do with my stuff, I can listen to other people's opinions, even things like that Woodhoo bet, getting money into that. Like Gordon was so bullish on his chances for the previews and things, and it's one of those I wouldn't. If I was coming to like a tipping thing, as you see it in the column, like I didn't tip Woodhoo. It wouldn't have necessarily been the horse that falls on my radar, but you respect the people you listen to in the same way that I bet and I make money betting. If we listen to other people, that's the same with this as well, right? I guess you guys amalgamate your own views by listening to a bunch of other people. Look, right, this is waffled for far too much. I don't even really remember what I've said in this video because I've done it so many times. But look, I've shared it now. I'm having a week off because I'm absolutely broken in terms of how much I've been working of late. Really grateful for the opportunities and the fact that I'm doing it, but I need some time out. So I'm taking a week off of everything, and then I'll be back. And then obviously we've got Aintree to look forward to. Then we've got the start of the flat as well. So again, hopefully we can, have a good period through the flat as well this season, because last year was my first year back proper doing flat. But yeah, it's like it's like good time in it. And at the end of the day, it's like hard for me and other people that are in this position where this is the sole thing. Like there is no other job, the pressures and all of it. But at the end of the day, like it is just horses running around in a field, isn't it? Like in terms of life and all those types of things as well, doesn't have to be that serious. But like I said, I feel like we're all in this together. Like I want everybody to win. I want us all to do okay. But it is uncontrollable. We can't spill that. So look, I've waffled too much. I need to edit this to put the little screen bits up there, but I'll leave it as that. Appreciate your guys' support more than you will realise anyway. I mean, I hope it wasn't too bad for too many of you out there. I hope a few of you as well. I saw in the comments a few people have had some good results and got some money back. So best of luck however you managed to get on this week. It's okay if you've had a rough one, because plenty of people have, and I guess you can tell even by the way I'm talking and the way that I sound, like it's been a rough week for everyone. So you don't ever think you're in this on your own. And like I've always said in the past, if people want to talk or comments and all that sort of stuff, then I'm here for you as well. Right, done. I'm going to end this, crop it up, and then I'm going to go back to bed.